Welcome back to the channel. I apologise for the lack of videos, lack of content. I know you're probably all wondering what's happened to the Land Rover. Have I finished it? What's happened? I've just been busy, you know, life, work. I've got an 18-month-old now, so time is of the essence as always. And we've had an awful summer in the UK. You know, it's been absolutely horrendous most weekends, so I've been stealing little bits of time every now and again. I haven't done much filming, if anything, to be honest. I've just been cracking on and getting a few bits done, but I thought I'd bring you back and actually show you some of the bits I've been getting on with. Apologies for the new format. If I'm too close to the screen, I'm getting used to it, but I thought I'd show you round a few little bits I've done. I'll be honest, I haven't opened up the Land Rover just, so it's about 5 degrees today, so it's a bit nippy, but I thought I'd bring you back and show you some of the bits that I've been getting on with. So it's pretty much finished, the engine conversion. We are ready for an MOT, I suppose. I need to probably do a bit of a spanner check first, but I wanted to get some advice, I suppose, really put it to the open forum as to where to go next with it. So I'll film some bits and bobs now, what I've been getting on with, and yeah, and I'm going to ask your advice on a couple of bits. So I'll just go and open everything up and yeah, see what you think, show you a few bits that I've done off camera, and yeah, get some advice, I suppose, really, as to the way forward. I'll bring you back shortly. So the first major thing I've done is I've fitted a new bonnet. So I don't know how well this is coming out in the light, but this is a Puma bonnet. So the difference being with the Puma, it's got the bulge in the middle. It's a genuine Land Rover part. I've had this about 4 years. I bought it when I first did the 606 conversion because it was getting a bit warm, but I've never actually fitted it. So I fitted some bonnet pins to this to secure it, but if anyone's ever done anything like this to a Land Rover, you'll know this is a 300 TDI car, but with the Puma bonnet the mechanism for holding it up is different. So I've had to engineer, rather than spend another 80 quid, I've had to engineer some bits which I'll show you now. So this is the bonnet release system. I've mounted it on the existing bracket, and basically it's just a rod that spins and holds it up. It's got a little P-clip there that I use to secure it when it's folded, stowed away. So what I've been getting on with, first of all, this is the engine bay finished pretty much. I have fabricated out of stainless an intake pipe from the filter that now links up to the snorkel with a little bit of flex. It's stainless all the way down to the bottom underneath the booster there. At the back you'll see there is a sensor. That's the intake air sensor from a P38 that wires in with the existing Land Rover, plugs in. It's all genuine, really hard to get hold of. I had to buy a whole airbox just to get that. And I have had this fabricated from a friend of mine. This is the ECU cover. So I know it looks like it's rattly, but it's not. It's all secure. Doesn't foul the new bonnet because you've got the internal bulge. You can just see the inside of those pins just there. Not the neatest of jobs, but this bonnet was crash damaged, so I've had to do a bit of fettling with it, but it's not finished, but it's good enough for now. Yeah, so the big changes are ECU cover, intake. Everything else is pretty much as I left it before. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it really that's changed on the inside. I've got the temperature gauge wired correctly. I was trying to use this little green sensor down here, which is the P38 sensor, but I found that on a 300 TDI, if you actually take the temperature sensor out, it fits in, and you can basically just take the live cable straight to that So my 300 TDI gauge now works with the V8 positioning. That's how they are on the sort of early P38 4.6s. So yeah, I think I showed you. I did all the rocker covers, did the plenum, painted them all up, cleaned them all back. I could have done with lacquering them really, because they've gone a bit dull, but still, it's better than what it is. It's better than it's ever looked in here. Yeah, there's another upgrade which is on the interior, which I'll show you shortly. So one of the issues I've been having, last time I used this, it was at 25 degrees outside, and I opened up the flaps on the 300 TDI just here. The bulkhead's never been great, to be honest. This was a repair I did some time ago, but because the flaps were always screwed shut, you can just see the screw hole in there. They're always screwed shut on this, and when I disturb them, it now leaks like a sieve. So in the footwell, you'll see we have a nice little pool of water in the carpets. So one of the upgrades that I've got planned is a new bulkhead, which I've actually sourced. Again, I've had that a couple of years or so, and that was off a Puma, which will bring me on to the conversation shortly. So there we go. I'll just show you a couple more bits inside. So one of the other upgrades I've done is, this is a genuine, excuse the bedding, I've been camping a couple of times this year, and I've been using it as a bit of a shed, but this is a genuine automatic console. It was one of my upgrades. When I did the original automatic conversion, I was running a D2 shifter with a D2 console, but I was never happy with it. It always used to bounce off, etc. But this is basically a genuine, either a NAS spec or a 40th edition console that's been retrimmed in leather. Again, I've had this for absolutely ages, but never got around to fitting it. I thought, well, once I've done all this work, I'll fit it. I've changed over to the earlier shifter off the Range Rover, or off the actual Defender. So I had this again from when I did the first conversion, but couldn't get it to work. But now, obviously, with the new console, it's what fits in there. So I've gone back. I mean, it's got a few marks, you know, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better. You know, it's got a more positive engagement, etc. Doesn't bounce around like the old one used to. So that's pretty much what I've done on the interior. So yeah, I think I'll give this a start. It's been about 6 months since I've started it. Dashboard's nearly all back, to be honest, but you'll see why I'm not bothered with that shortly. Got the alarm I need to connect back up, but other than that, we're all good. So it's my first start in about 6 months. Just give the fuel system time to prime, and then touch your throttle. Check the fuel pressure. Yep, got some fuel pressure. As you can see, it's been sitting for about 6 months or so. There we go. No throttle. That's cold start from idle. Like I said, that's been about 6 months or so. As you can see, it's idle's lovely. There we go. Absolutely runs like a dream. Did a bit smoky, but probably condensation. runs a little bit rich. You have to excuse this, my daughter's been locking a bike to it. There we go. So there we go, the engine's pretty much finished. As you can see, it's not lumpy, it's not idly, it's not bouncing around. It runs like a dream. It's the first time it's been started in about 6 months. We do get a little bit of a miss sometimes when we accelerate. But I'll put it down to just needing a bit of a clear out. Had quite a lot of problems when I first run it with an airflow meter problem. Did not want to idle at all, it was running lumpy, but I had to buy a genuine airflow meter. It's a second hand part. The Chinese brand new version I bought did not like it, but see, it runs well. It's got a bit of steam coming out the exhaust, but smells a little bit rich, if I'm honest, but that clears up once it's been driven. You can see all the water that's collected in the exhaust. But there we go. So since last time, Puma bonnet, new bonnet stand system, ECU cover, air intake, idle air intake temperature, and the interior. So I have driven it on a, just up and down really, off on and off the drive. All the gears work, and temperature all works nicely, as you can see. It's reading, idle's lovely. Like I said, a little bit of a blip on idle, on it's gone there, it's not doing it, but yeah, really happy with it, how it's actually come out. Anyway, now for the advice that I need. I'll leave it idling for a minute. So now for the questions. This is, to be honest, it owes me so much money. I'll never ever sell it. So it's with me for life. You know, it's gone through 3 engines, 2 gearboxes, 2 transfer boxes. You know, I've got some work planned for it going forward. I'd like to put lockers in it. But the question I've got is, at the moment, this isn't MOT'd because, well, I've been too busy. But the main question is, so I've just showed you the issues with the bulkhead. Now, I actually repaired this bulkhead before I started the conversion. So where I'm at with it basically is, I've got, sitting in my garage, I've got a, I don't know, 2007 onwards Puma bulkhead. So what I'd like to do is change the bulkhead over to the one with no vents in it. It's rust, well, I'll say it's rot free. It's got a little bit of surface rust, which I'll clean up. I do want to change the colour potentially as well, so like a nice green, or a bluey green, should we say. But I'm at a position now where, do I MOT it as it is, get it back on the road, MOT it, you know, fork out for the full year's insurance for it, or do I keep it off and go for the bulkhead swap now? So originally, obviously, when I've been doing this series, I wanted to put air conditioning in, and part of what I want to do is I want to put the Puma dashboard in. So I've been collecting parts for 2 years for this. I want to put the Puma dashboard in, so it's all nice, all factory, and I want to put the Puma bulkhead in. Question is, do I do that now, or do I get it MOT'd first? I mean, eventually I want to potentially convert this to a station wagon, so I have the rear doors in, so I can actually use it for the kids as well. I mean, I've got my daily driver is a Ford Ranger, which is comfortable. You know, I've been using that for camping this year, but I do want to get this back out on the road. I miss it. So do I go down the route of, you know, swapping the bulkhead, the dashboard over, etc.? I mean, that's a bigger job than you realise. The Puma dash has got CAN bus system on the gauges, so it's a case of it's not straightforward. So I'll be changing the wiring loom. I'll be changing the dashboard. I want to sort of equip it for 4 doors when I do the CSW conversion eventually. You know, I've got 4. I've got 2 kids. I've got a dog. I've got obviously me and my partner Becky. You know, I want to use it as a family adventure truck as well as just mine. So that's my conundrum really. Do I go and do the bulkhead swap now, or do I get it MOT'd, fork out for another year's insurance, and then obviously take it off the road once I've put a bit of miles on the engine? So there we go. Anyway, I'll just show you how this temperature gauge is getting on. Obviously now it's been running for 10 minutes or so, and then we'll wrap this one up, I think, pretty much. It's a very short video. Just wanted to get something back out on the channel just to show you where I'm at and what I've been up to. So there we are, look, still idling, perfect, no issues. I'll show you the temperature. Temperature's come up to operating temperature. That's always where it's sat before, and yeah, the fans kick in when it creeps up. Just do another quick blip of the throttle. There we go. Oh, it smells great. Love the smell of a petrol. Right, I knock this off and wrap the video up. So there we are, a little bit of an update on the Land Rover, where I'm at. Really would appreciate some input, you know, comment below what you think I should do. The problem is with the UK, you can drive a car untaxed to the MOT station, but the insurance needs covering. So it's a relatively large expense, and signing everything back up to then take it off the road to do the bulkhead. But I am missing it. You know, I've put a lot of work into it. It's looking, well, you can see it's looking great. It sounds great. It just needs a bit of work on it. You know, a bit of miles on it. So I think spanner check. You know, make sure everything's okay, and then it's MOT ready. It's just a case of you know, what path do I go? So yeah, let me know, guys. Do I put the bulkhead in now, and or do I, you know, get it on the road and get it through an MOT first? Another thing I've been thinking about. Obviously, I've been watching YouTube in my spare time, and a lot of people, you know, I do more than just Land Rover stuff. I mean, for instance, I was camping away the weekend, and you know, I didn't film it. The weather was horrendous. The weekend before last, sorry. The weather was horrendous, but you know, I do other bits and bobs. I've got some, you know, nice bushcraft knives and things like that. You know, I take the little one out and we have like coffee, and you know, when we're out on the walk with the dog. So, and I've also got some other cars. You know, I've got a Mini, Mark 1 Mini that's sat there for 7 years or so. You know, absolute state. Bought as a parts car for my dad, but. And I've also been gifted a T25 camper. So the next question is, do you want to see more content on that? You know, this year alone, I've re-roofed my garage. So about 10 years ago, I built a garage. Well, about 12, 13 years ago, I built a garage, and I built it with a flat roof, and that failed. And this year, I've put a pitch roof on it, but the interior needs going through again. You know, it's been leaking for a long time. So do you want to see things like that? You know, me carry on working on the garage, setting up a bit of a workshop. Obviously, I can't get the Land Rover in, but it's there. You know, I could do some bits in the garage. You know, it needs all the lighting going over and the wiring and stuff, because it's been basically a sponge for the last 12 years, for the last 7 or so years. So yeah, do you want to see any more of that content? You know, maybe a will it start on the Mini, maybe doing the restoration on the camper eventually when I get round to it, and you know, doing some bits in the garage. So let me know what you think, and I'll be really interested to see what you think. And again, let me know about the bulkhead. Do I do that first, or do I get it MOT'd on the road? Anyway, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you could obviously give this a share to any groups that you're on, subscribe. You know, I would like to do more YouTube stuff. I'd love to do it full time. You know, I'd love my own proper workshop where I can get the Land Rover in and really take it to bits. I might, like I said, I've got some locking diffs that I want to put in this. You know, do you want to see that sort of stuff? Yeah, let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you hopefully a bit sooner than 9 months next time. Cheers.